So I recently published this book with Puffin India, very nicely illustrated by Vishnu. It's a book on gender stereotypes. And I wrote this book for my son when he was about 2 years old. And his favorite colors were pink and blue. And when he was 2, he just started with his play school. He came back home and he said he does not want to use anything pink because it's a girl's color. And that's when I realized that kids start picking up on gender stereotypes as early as 2. And I thought that we have these discussions in adult boardrooms, in our drawing rooms, but wouldn't it be more effective to have them when children are just forming these opinions or forming these ideas? It would be so much easier. But then I thought the difficulty is that it's a complex issue and it's tough to bring it down to the level of a 2-year-old. So in order to have this conversation with my son, I wrote about things that we observed in our environment, about things that he was exposed to, which I thought were unfair gender stereotypes. And I hope that this book gives parents the vocabulary and the opportunity to have this discussion with their preschoolers. The book has been done very simply. So we take things that kids come across very commonly, statements that they hear very commonly around themselves. And I have heard these in the playground, I have heard these in school, I've heard my son mention a few things. You see parents saying some of these things to their children. So I've picked on those, and these are some very common things that you hear. Pink is a girl's color. You know, when you go to birthday parties, you get pink gifts wrapped in pink for girls, and you have gifts wrapped in blue for boys. Even return gifts, you know, people have separate pink versions and blue versions for boys and girls. So this is very common, which is something that I've put in here. Boys can't cry. I hear so many parents saying that, oh, you know, I have a boy, obviously he's naughty. That is not necessarily true. You know, there are girls who can be very boisterous and very naughty as well, and there are boys who are very gentle. So we've taken that, you know, that it's not just boys who punch and kick, and girls cook. You know, you have kitchen. This is again something that that happened with my son. I wanted to buy him a kitchen set for his first birthday, and wherever we went, they told us that that's in the girls section. So, you know, I mean, I don't see why that should be the case, because we all eat, so we should all know how to cook, right? Why should that just be a girl's toy? So these are some simple instances that kids see in the world around them, and we've talked about it very simply. For instance, with cooking, we say that boys cook and so girls cook, and so do boys, because everybody eats. So everybody should know how to cook. So it's non-judgmental. We are not saying that this is right and this is wrong. We're just acknowledging that girls do cook, but boys also cook. You know, so we are appealing to their sense of logic, their sense of fairness, which is very strong in children. So very simply dealt. Yes, in fact, there was a lot of to and fro between the whole team, the design team, the illustrator, me. There was a lot of to and fro, and there was a lot of talk on whether the image is portraying a stereotype or whether it's breaking a stereotype. So initially, the first draft that we had, automatically the girl was a slight shade lighter than the boy, and then we talked about it and we decided no, that is what we always see. So we, if you notice on the cover page, the boy is a shade lighter than the girl, and you know, the kids that we have in the picture book, it's a conscious effort to not show them necessarily as goody two shoes. You have them smiling here, but then they're also boisterous, you know. So that was an attempt to keep the pictures as close to the kids that we see around us. And here I really like this page because this might get missed out, but if you notice, we have given examples of famous boys with long hair. There's a nod to APJ Abdul Kalam here, there's a Sardar boy here, there's Michael Jackson, there's a nod to girls with short hair. So we've, that's Indira Gandhi. And another page that I really like is mom and dad cooking together. And there's a page on professions, which again, you know, we don't go into boys and girls can also be this and they can also be that, but we just have this spread with boys and girls doing all kinds of work, different professions. Somewhere boys take the lead, somewhere girls take the lead, and it doesn't matter what their gender is. So through pictures also we've tried to send the message across, and we've tried to not be very preachy in the book and make every point. I think the pictures, we are allowing the pictures to speak for themselves as well. So I've mostly done my sessions with grade 1 or KG, and it is amazing to hear the kind of things and the kind of questions that they have, the thoughts that they have, and the fact that they really understand, even though we are not using the term gender stereotype. It's a fun interactive session that you do with children, but they understand the concept. So I often begin by doing this exercise with them, where I ask them to tell me things that they feel only boys like, or only girls like, or only boys can do, and or only girls can do. And the responses in every school are amazing. So in one school I learnt that rain is for girls and snow is for boys. In another school, there are colors that have been very nicely segregated as boy colors and girl colors, including red and orange and silver. So in some schools silver is for boys, in some schools silver is for girls. And of course, and then there are these regular stereotypes, and then we ask girls who like things that are in the boy column, and we ask boys who like things that are in the girls column. We go step by step, and there are boys who will happily raise their hands and say they like to play with dolls. There are boys who say that they like playing with kitchen sets. There are boys who will say that they really like the color pink. So, you know, it is a surprise for teachers and for parents also to learn about the kind of things that they've stereotyped in their minds, like rain and snow and flowers and unicorns. And it's also very interesting to see that they're happy to admit that that boys like pink, that there are girls who have fought and who have punched and who have kicked, even though obviously we don't encourage that, and we talk about how that's not a good idea. But there are children who are very happy to admit that they like things that go against stereotypes, and the questions that they come up with are very interesting. You know, there was this child who asked, "Who do you think works harder, boys or girls?" And another child got up and said, "Well, you know, boys work hard outside the house and girls work hard inside the house." At which point the teachers got up and they said, "We are outside the house, we are working hard." You know, so the conversations are very interesting with grade 1. And then I've had some conversations, some schools have asked me to do it with ages 3 and 4, with grades 3 and 4. And those conversations, of course, the discussion is more nuanced and more interesting, the sort of questions. There are boys who say how they're told in their families, their fathers have never cried, and how boys must never cry. So we talk about that. You know, there are people who talk about how there was this girl who told us about how her father knows how to cook, but he never wants to cook. And not only does he want her mama to cook, he wants mama to serve him every time as well. And she was very annoyed about that. So, you know, kids are very open, they bring these things out. So this book is meant to start a conversation. It's meant to get parents talking with their children. I think as parents, when we read this book out to our children, let's give them a non-judgmental space and ask them what they feel about these things that they hear around themselves. And this just starts the conversation. After that, you have to take the conversation forward. Point a gender stereotype. Wherever you see it, call it out and poke holes in that, you know, and keep discussing it with your children. So it will, I can promise you, as I've seen with my son, it leads to conversations. It makes the children think when they hear such things. So, and as schools, I think it is something that can be discussed in circle times, because a lot of times when a child is growing up in a house that doesn't necessarily have gender stereotypes, the peer group will impose some on the child, you know, especially in nursery KG. By the time they come to class 1, children have very strong ideas of gender roles and gender expectations, and they try to monitor each other and they try to push each other to adhere to these gender expectations. So, whenever in your classroom you see a child getting teased, or you have a bunch of kids who make a statement like, this is a girl's color, or this is a girl's game, or these are boys' toys, or I don't want to play with girls, or I don't want to play with boys. These are things you must never ignore. Either you go into a discussion about the book, or you just make a statement poking a hole saying there is no such thing as a girl color, no such thing as a boy color. It makes a huge difference to a child when they hear a teacher say that, instead of just ignoring that statement. So, most research suggests that such statements, especially with children, should never be ignored. The most effective way of dealing with gender stereotyping in children is to call it out. So I think that, and plus in a lot of sessions where I have had open sessions where anyone was allowed to enter, even though the session is meant to be till about age 6, I have seen that in many of these sessions there are teenagers who are coming in, and I'm always curious to know why they thought that this session was for them. And they have spoken up about how they want to discuss this in their school, and they have no space where this is being discussed. I've had children in class 9th talking to me about homosexuality, and talking about how they want these matters to be discussed in school, but the libraries don't have books on homosexuality, their teachers won't discuss it in class, so they want to come to this and ask me how we can use this to have a larger conversation within our schools. So I think even with older age groups, this is something that can be used as a conversation starter, and you can just talk about the book maybe, and then open the conversation up to children. And it's amazing that when we give them a space that's non-judgmental, and we are really trying to hear what they have to say, it's amazing the kids come up with, and there's so much learning for us in that as well.